My name is Kira Omans. I went to George Mason University to get my BFA in Performance for Stage and Screen, and so I was already on that track to become an actor. And I also got a communications minor, and my journalism professor actually found out that I was pursuing acting, and she was a member of the Screen Actors Guild, and she was just like, since acting can be such sporadic work, you should look into doing some kind of job that will give you a lot of flexibility, and you should check out audiobooks. And I was just like, okay, I'll check out audiobooks. I really liked the idea of voice acting, and so I just did my research and got on some of the freelance websites, and from there I think I got in at a really good time. I was very fortunate. There were some platforms that were starting up, like Find Away Voices, and there were some publishers at the time that were scouting for just a general network of narrators that they could continue to work with. So I signed on with a couple people and just started getting regular work, and now I do it full time.
Wow. And that was all in California for the most part?
Actually, a lot of it was in DC when I lived on the East Coast. And so I, at a time, worked in part-time in public relations and part-time doing audiobooks. And then when I got a role to go film in Atlanta for 2 months, I made the leap and went full-time freelance, and thankfully haven't had to go back since.
Wow. Is there any sort of books that you've gotten that I think kind of gravitate to you more so, that you've enjoyed the most?
I really enjoy reading young adult novels. I think those are really fun. I think the characters are always very dynamic and the stories are super interesting and unique. I recently had the opportunity to do an autobiographical work called Operation Baby Lift, which was written by Regina Auni and Erin Lockhart. And I'm also very involved in adoption advocacy, and Erin is a Vietnamese adoptee and was writing about her own experience and her own story. And I am only pretty familiar with Chinese and Korean adoptees, so that was really, really, really just so close to my heart that I had the opportunity to read another adoptee story and bring a voice to her words.
Wow, that's pretty rad. That's pretty rad. Do they usually find you, or do you find them in certain cases like this one?
So Erin reached out to me via my website, but usually what I do is you can submit to audiobooks that rights holders put up on ACX, but recently I haven't had to do that, which is really, really nice. I use Find Away Voices, and they have an audition team that sends me audition opportunities, and then I book from there. Mm-hmm. Same with the publishers that I work with. They usually send me about a book a month, and that's just really nice to have that steady work.
Yeah, and it's cool to see too that it's similar to most freelance, gigs and stuff like that, where it's like not only do you have to go through these platforms, but people are able to find you. And especially in that case where you see, adoptee story and then another adoptee kind of coming together. It's a very interesting, it's pretty rad. You would never, at least I would never think. Yeah. That's kind of how it pans out even in the audiobook industry as well.
Yeah, no, it's really special, and I mean, it's just like a testament to how important it is to have your portfolio uploaded as many places as you can, just so people can find you. But I honestly only update my website when something huge has happened, and I'm always surprised by people when they reach out to me on there, but yeah, it's really important.
How many years have you been doing this for?
I've been doing this for 5 years now. Full-time, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it get easier as time kind of progresses?
Yes. When I first started, I had a hard time streamlining the work, just because it's like, that you have to record it and edit it, but over time I've just developed a process where I'm like, okay, I sit down and record this is how I edit it, this is the way I do things, and it's become really efficient over time.
Wow. When you first started, did you see yourself going for this long, or was it something that it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to start this, I'm going to see how it goes, and then maybe not? Or was it something that off the bat you were like, I really like this?
I definitely hoped that I would be able to do this. I know that the entertainment industry in general, and I mean, this crosses over into like the literary industry as well, but I definitely hoped that I could continue to do this because I had so much fun. I love being able to perform every single day and just stay fresh, really, because it also helps me with my acting for TV and film as well, just to be in that mindset of performing and making choices and doing characters, and that's just really, really nice. And the flexibility of it, like, you can't beat it. I mean, I work from home. I was doing that before COVID, so I was really, really fortunate to have that work during the pandemic and to just use my audiobook like experience to break into other forms of voice acting. So I was able to do I did a voiceover for HBO when I first moved out to LA, and did a dub for Netflix, and just an animated short, and I just really have a blast with it. So I'm just very fortunate, and I didn't think that it would go so well, I think, when I first started, but now that it has, I'm just so grateful, and am really excited that I just am able to continue doing this.
Right. And I mean, you can just tell, even just speaking, like, you're a very well-spoken person. When you were younger, did you always kind of see a career path per se in acting? Because even just talking to you and having this conversation, I can kind of see like the direction of just even doing the audiobooks and how it can improve the acting, and like you're saying, the voices and all that stuff. Was that something that you kind of knew early on, that acting and that sort of direction was something that you wanted, or kind of stumbled into it?
It's so funny. If you told anyone from my elementary and middle school that I'm doing what I do now, they would not believe you. Yeah, I was so quiet. Like, I would not speak in class. I was so shy. Yeah. And my freshman year of high school, I took a theater class, and my acting teacher just really instilled a love of theater in me, and I took the acting class because I wanted to write, and I just fell in love with acting. I loved it so much, and I've been performing from a young age. I started doing dance when I was 4 years old and martial arts when I was 6, and so I was competing and performing, and so I was used to being in front of people but never speaking. And so I really credit my acting teacher with just instilling a lot of confidence in me and giving me a voice, and that helped me do everything I've done since then. Like the 2015 Pacific Miss Asian American pageant, I don't think I ever would have been able to do anything like that before, and I decided I wanted to act when I was in high school, and I auditioned for governor's school for the performing arts and got in, and that was a really big step for me, and I think that also showed my parents that I had any degree of talent in this, so they didn't feel like I was just running away to the circus like, Mom, Dad, I want to be an actor, and they were just like,
you sure?
Exactly. So that was really special, and so then I went to college for it, and now I'm here.
I love it. And your parents were, for the most part, pretty supportive of the journey too?
Oh, very. Yeah. No, I think that they did a really good job of just making sure that I was setting myself up for success, that I had very realistic goals, and the work ethic and just the talent needed to pursue a field that's as unpredictable and crazy as the entertainment industry. And I think that because early on I was just like, okay, to prove to Mom and Dad I can do this, I need to do this, and this. But it was also to prove to myself, and also just to have those skills and those values in the long run that I feel like have helped me be very successful.
For sure. That's great. That's great. And it's super important, especially with like the parents being supportive and trying to help you with that groundwork. Because so many parents, I won't say so many, but there are a lot of parents that don't help, or they don't know how to help, and might try and steer you in the direction that they think is right for you. So it is nice to see that they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and help as much as I can.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, moving across the country was the scariest thing that I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And I know that they ultimately didn't want me to move so far away, but they were so supportive of it that it was just, because I probably would have just stayed like in my comfort zone and stayed in DC, and I was getting a lot of work there and was totally happy, but they also have always taught me to challenge myself and always like work to reach your full potential, and I just knew I wasn't going to do that over there, so they were like, you should go. And I think that encouragement really helped me even feel remotely comfortable considering this.
Yeah, especially, I mean, DC to LA, that's legit across the country.
Yeah.
Not just like halfway across the country, that's like all the way, so.
Yeah.
I love it. Moving forward, do you have any goals for the next coming year, whether it be in the acting or it be in the audiobook sphere or both?
So last year I booked my first network show as a named character, and so that was actually my goal for the next year or two. So now I'm just, my goal is to continue doing the voice acting as well, just in any capacity that I can. And I'm hoping to push forward with my like TV and film career and have perhaps a supporting character or a lead. I was a couple of excellent characters last year in indie feature films, and so I'm hoping to book more roles like that, but on network TV or in a feature.
I love it. Well, I wish you the best in the coming year. Thank you
Thank
for coming
you.
for the little interview here.
Of course.
And